The night before Christmas tightened around the quiet street like a held breath, when a single father in a janitor's blue uniform lifted a small, ribboned box toward a police officer whose eyes had forgotten how to hope. And in that instant, under a porch light that flickered like a fragile promise, two broken lives brushed against each other and began to change in ways no one could have imagined. Before the story carries you further, take a second to like this video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel Grandma Diery if you still believe in second chances and quiet miracles that don't make headlines but change hearts. He had learned to move softly through the world. Years of working late shifts as a school janitor had taught him how to clean up messes without being seen, how to leave rooms brighter than he found them, how to stretch small paychecks across big responsibilities. Every evening after work, he hurried home to help his young daughter with homework, cook simple dinners, and read bedtime stories that always ended with the same question about when things would get better. He never lied to her. He just said soon, because hope, like cleaning solution, worked best when applied patiently. That Christmas Eve, he noticed the patrol car idling across the street longer than usual. The officer inside didn't move, didn't check her phone, didn't seem to be waiting for anything. She stared through the windshield as if the world beyond it had already left without her. He recognized that look. He carried it himself most days, tucked behind responsibility and routine. The officer had been assigned to neighborhood patrol during the holidays, a time when sirens felt louder and loneliness heavier. Beneath the badge and the pressed uniform was a woman carrying fresh grief and older regrets. The job had taught her how to stay strong, how to stand between danger and strangers, but it hadn't taught her how to go home to an empty apartment decorated with unopened boxes of ornaments she no longer had the energy to hang. The city expected her to protect and serve, yet no one had noticed how close she was to breaking. When the janitor stepped onto his porch with a small gift he had wrapped at the kitchen table with his daughter's careful hands, she almost drove away, embarrassed by her stillness. But something about his hesitant kindness made her pause. The gift was simple, the kind of thing bought with spare change and careful planning. Inside were homemade cookies and a handwritten note from a child who believed that everyone deserved something sweet on Christmas. The janitor offered it without expectation, without speeches or explanations, because kindness, he believed, didn't need reasons. The officer accepted it with hands that trembled despite years of firearms training. That small box cracked the armor she wore every day. For the first time in weeks, she felt seen not as a uniform, not as a symbol of authority, but as a human being allowed to feel tired and sad. She drove away afterward, the cookies untouched on the passenger seat, tears blurring the lights that lined the street. What happened next didn't unfold overnight, and that was the shocking part. There was no dramatic rescue, no viral moment. Instead, there was a tension. The officer began noticing the janitor's routine, the way he walked his daughter to the bus stop in the mornings, the way he waved to neighbors even when his shoulders sagged. She started asking quiet questions around the precinct, learning about the invisible people who kept the city running while struggling to survive. She learned about a scholarship fund that had gone unused, about community grants that never reached the families who needed them most. On her own time, she pushed paperwork, made calls, and connected dots that others had ignored. The kindness she received had unsettled her enough to act. Weeks later, the janitor was called into a community meeting at the school where he worked. He expected another reminder about budget cuts or extra duties. Instead, he learned that a program had been approved to provide childcare assistance and educational support for children of low-income city workers. His daughter's name was already on the list. The room spun as relief flooded him, heavy and unexpected. He didn't know who to thank. He just knew that the weight he carried every day had lifted enough for him to breathe more freely. Around the corner, the officer watched quietly, not seeking recognition, understanding now that real service often happened without applause. As Christmas came around again, the neighborhood felt different. Lights seemed brighter, laughter carried farther. The officers still worked long hours, still faced hard days, but she no longer felt alone inside them. The janitor walked taller, his daughter's laughter lighter, their future no longer a narrow hallway, but a widening path. Kindness had moved from one heart to another and outward into a community, changing lives without demanding anything in return. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Grandma Diery, because stories like this deserve to travel farther than silence ever did. And before this story ends, please leave a comment sharing where you've seen kindness change a life. It matters more than you think. In the end, nothing about that Christmas night made the news, yet everything about it mattered. A single dad janitor helped a sad female cop with a small human gesture, and what she did next shocked everyone, not because it was loud or dramatic, but because it proved how one quiet act of compassion can ripple outward, restoring faith in people, in community, and in the simple belief that helping one person can, in time, help many.